guys, and welcome back to another episode of Leaving the 9 to 5 podcast, brought to you by the Lifting Love Podcast Network. I'm your host, Lenny, and alongside of me, as always, is my co-host and friend, DJ, the DJ.
What is going on, Lenny?
That's what I'm talking about. But before we get started, we'd like to thank our sponsor for the podcast today, Tech Light Associates. Leaving the 9 to 5 is proudly presented by Tech Light Associates Incorporated. Call Tech Light for all your technology, wireless, or audio-visual needs. Whether you're in New York, North Carolina, or anywhere in the United States, Tech Light has got you covered, even offering financing options for your next big project. So give Tech Light a call or visit them online at www.techlightassociates.com. That's www.techlightassociates.com. Now let's get on with the episode. What up, man?
What's going on? It has been a week, man.
It has been a week. It's been a crazy weekend. As you know, Staff Fest was this weekend. A lot of stuff happened.
How'd that go? Did that blow up over there?
It was great. It was great. We beat our number. We just missed our goal of what we thought was going to be, but great turnout. People had fun. Some really cool costumes.
Ooh, dang, that's awesome, man. Yeah. It's the season. Halloween season's this week.
And then caught a flat on the way home, and yeah. It was fun.
Oh, that must have been killer.
Oh, wow. How are you? How's everything?
We're busy week. Keeping it flowing. So, what do you got this week for your snack? I'm a little hungry to start.
So I don't know how to say this, but me and wifey were at Home Goods the other day, and we found this dark chocolate cream-filled wafer called Pyroline? I don't know.
Pyroline, maybe?
Pyroline? I don't know. Pyroline? I don't know. Sounds too fancy for me, but it was super cheap, really good. They're these little wafers, but here you go. Some ASMR for y'all.
Is that chocolate in it? Or like a caramel?
Dark chocolate.
Ooh, you and the dark chocolate. It's so good.
Nutella and dark chocolate. I'm such a sucker for them. What's your snack of the week?
I got a classic today, but honestly, it's probably the best, and a lot of people probably like them. The classic Cheez-Its. Can't go wrong. Healthy, cheesy, and actually, there's a way to make them at home. I learned it on TikTok. You take like a block of cheddar cheese and slice it up, and then you put it in the oven. I think there's some other things you got to do with it too, but not 100%. But it is delicious.
All right. I guess I'm sipping my water. I was dying. 2 great snacks. Get them at your local store. I have no idea. This is my first time I've ever seen them. Shout out Home Goods and TJ Maxx. Cheeses, I feel like you can get almost anywhere. They're kind of like widely
anywhere
accessible
at this point.
Yeah. So get some of yours.
I got mine at Sam's Club though, so I didn't lose Sam's Club snack of the week there.
Sam's Club snack of the week.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, and I believe you got this week's quote of the week.
Yes, sir.
So hit us with it.
So quote of the week.
You're going to get so tired of them damn air horns.
So this week I got a quote, and it's going to go into our topic today too.
Okay.
It's by Sam Keen, saying, "Burnout is nature's way of telling you you've been going through the motions your soul has departed from." Ooh, what does that mean to you? I can say, a lot of us go through the motions of life, and that, I hear that. Just keep going, and you don't even know your soul and you are separate at that point.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing too, right? Because we'll get into it later after we talk Nothing's Off Limits, but you don't really know you're going through burnout until you're burnt out. There's no way to anticipate it. There's no way to I'm in the middle of it right now. There's no way of doing that. So, yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited to see where this conversation of burnout goes. But before we get into that fully, we got Nothing's Off Limits. I don't know if it's that exciting news. Is there a sad track?
There we
go. I don't know. You're a little older than me, so you probably watched these episodes. But Matthew Perry of Friends passed away.
Yes.
This past weekend, and it's so weird because to me, I've been internalizing it, I'm upset about it. It's weird, right? Because like he's a stranger to me. I don't know who the heck this guy is in real life, but he played such a powerful role on a show that I felt like I grew up with him. Like I felt like I knew him, and I know for a lot of people that's how it feels. But isn't it weird that like TV, film, entertainment has this powerful impact to really be like, I don't know this person. I've never had a conversation with them. Like they don't know who I am, but they've had such a powerful impact on my life. And I can say that about a couple of actors and actresses and just people who, and I'm sure other people feel the same way. It's just so weird, and it's crazy because you don't ever think, right, when my parents talk about like the childhood stars that they had and they're passing away, it like makes sense. But homeboy was 50 in his 50s.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. It's sad when anyone passes away, but it was a shocker. It came out of nowhere. They just did the Friends reunion. So yeah, Matthew Perry passed away. I believe he was 54.
Yeah, I mean, it's such tragedy, and like, I mean, he lived. I don't know if he realized, like a lot of celebrities, I don't know if they also realize the impacts they make on it. Shout out to Robin Williams, who also was a huge inspiration
100%.
to our childhood, and even before our childhood, our parents' childhood. Even Friends. We grew up in the era of Friends. We were younger, so the older, like even older generation than me, and that's in their mid to late 30s now, they really grew up with it and watched it habitually, I'm sure. And because of that alone, they were able to really connect with them. And again, I was able to, you're able to. We're also seeing over the years with the rise of social media, quotes, replays, shorts, everything of it, that we're just able to re-experience it. Like it just came out yesterday, and it was a relatable show to begin with, so we just felt every minute of it.
I mean, they went for 10. I'm looking it up right now. They went for 10 seasons. So, 10 years of these people and just all the memories and stuff. It's crazy, but yeah. I mean, you touched on Robin Williams. That was another one that was pretty crazy. And I was so much younger when he passed away, so you don't realize it. And then you're like, man, he was in so many movies that I watched growing up. And not even that, but he plays so many voice characters. So it's definitely sad. It was crazy. It was Friends episode on last night, and I watched it, and it just like, just didn't feel the
It
same.
hit you
It was
different.
like weird. Yeah. I also posted something last night because it was funny. When he passed, I was like, damn. Like, I was like, damn, that sucks, because obviously it did. But I was like, wait a second. I think someone else said something about Friends when I was doing a public interview. So I went back and I found one, and I was like, if you could have a cameo in any TV show or movie, past or present, what would it be? And then the girl was like, Friends, and I posted that one last night. So it was just crazy.
That's
but
huge.
I think
That's timing.
I think I wish actors and actresses, maybe some people do realize, but I don't know if a lot of them realize the impact that they have. Because for a lot of people, it's probably just, hey, it's my job. You know what I mean? Like you have your job, I have my job. It's just people recognize me, and I do a lot more. It is the same thing, the same concept, but crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
for sure. And
Super young.
so that's
It's
going to jump us right into our topic here. So
yeah. So go back off that quote. We're talking about burnout today.
yes, we're talking about burnout. We're still continuing in the series Peace of Mind going on here. Want you to be peace of mind entrepreneurs, leaders, and just whatever you can be in your workspace and community. So yes, today's burnout. Burnout is a very real topic. I know I've personally experienced it multiple times. Lenny's experienced it.
What is burnout? I mean, I think we should just start there, right? What is it for those who don't know? Maybe there's people who never burnt out, or maybe people who are burnt out or did burn out and they didn't even realize that they burnt out. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I think we should get the definition right on the screen here. Burnout has multiple definitions, but the definition we're talking about today is the physical or mental collapse caused by overwork or high stress. So a good realization of it is like high levels of professionalism, high levels of work, high levels of stress in general can lead to burnout.
I think burnout's something that's not talked about because people feel like they're robots sometimes. Like I'm invincible, I can do anything. All this stuff. But at the end of the day, you gotta realize that you're human. You need a break. You can't just keep going until you burn out because you're just not going to be able to do as much as you want to. Because like for me, like I have all these plans, I have all these goals, and sometimes it's just like, hold on, it's not meant to be right now. You got to sit back, do what's in front of you, and take those breaks. Like every Sunday, I try to not do anything. Um,
The hardest part
that's like the
is
one
you
day.
gotta find a break for yourself. And I know a lot of people, including myself, for years, I struggled with finding a break because,
Yeah,
especially in today's society, social media, everything's so fast that you're always keeping up with something. Social media, your family, your work, text messaging, calls, like you're always in touch no matter where you are and what you're doing, that you're never
yeah.
technically getting a break. You have to isolate yourself, shut off your phone, disconnect, and be with your family and actually appreciate and value the time you're getting.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, no one's ever lived through a time like this, right? Like we're like the first generation of people. Not even myself. Like I do remember not having a phone or stuff like that. I mean, internet and stuff was always around, but like the kids coming up now, it's like they'll never not know what it's like. Like they've always had iPads. They've always had this kind of stuff in front of them. So like to your point, it's like it's just all we know. It's crazy because like 10, 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, yeah, it might seem like a long time, but in retrospect, it's not.
So you want to hear a crazy statistic?
Go ahead.
So in the last year, at least it's been recorded, that 89% of Americans have suffered burnout in the last year. 89%, whether it's physical, cognitive, within your brain, emotional. Lack of interest is also considered a form of burnout where, hey, I don't want to do this job anymore. I'm burnt out. That's, something we talk about here at Leaving the 9 to 5 is we don't want you to burn out. And it's something that, like I said, me and Lenny can completely speak on. And we, not being able to leave your 9 to 5 and do your passion is going to make you burn out. And also the last bit of that 89% is the lack of effort at work, meaning you're just like, I don't give a darn. I don't give a crap. There you go. You got me. Okay.
I mean, I think it's a huge thing, and like, because I know we talk a lot about business. Damn, I definitely just broke this pen while I was playing with it. We talk a lot about business owners and entrepreneurs, but like, we want this podcast to also reach people who are working 9 to 5 because you're the people we want to talk to. Um, and I can only speak from experience, but like, I hated working for somebody else. Um, micromanage and all this stuff. Like now, if I don't get stuff done during the day, like it's on me. It's not on anybody else. Like I hated the fact that there was always like somebody there trying to. I mean, tell you what to do like a boss, but but I hated that, and I had a lot of lack of interest in a lot of the jobs that I had, and um, I don't think I've ever woken up one day since being an entrepreneur and been like, "Damn, this sucks." No, because every day is just so differently. Every day seems like a new job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every day feels like something new. You're not always doing the same stuff. Yeah, maybe you're doing, the same sort of thing, but everything is so different. The people you work with are so different. I totally just completely, broke the thing. But I mean, burnout's just such a real thing, and it's not talked about enough. So that's why we're trying to bring it to light on this podcast. And like you said, I mean, like I was saying before, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to experience burnout. Just like the statistics said, um, you don't have to have your own business. You don't have to have all these things going on. You could literally just be a regular person working a 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 7 to 3, 7 to 7, but 11 to 7, whatever your shifts are. And experience burnout, that lack of interest. I mean, I think a big thing of burnout is realizing that you need to take a break.
100%.
Starting
You
as,
need that break.
starting as entrepreneur, starting this entrepreneurship journey, like I was so like, I'm gonna go every day, like because I just remember like Mr. Beast talking like, I go until I can't, and then I go to sleep, and like that's a great thing for him because he's running multiple million, gonna be $1 billion companies in the future, but I'm not at that point right now. So what I need to do is figure out a schedule. And just up until this week, literally, like this is my first week implementing the schedule, where like Monday I spend all day on the podcast, whether it's this, whether it's like actually doing it, whether it's editing, anything podcast related. And then Tuesday, Wednesdays are like my days that are kind of like flex days, where if I need to make content, I can make content. If I have to do React stuff, if I didn't finish my edits, or if I have other edits that I have to do from like events or something, whatever, or if I have meetings, those are like my flex days. And then Thursdays, kind of just the same thing, but mostly focused on Reacts. Friday is my advertising day, so I want to go out and talk to people, put up flyers, whatever I got to do. Saturday is 95% of the time a content day for like YouTube, and then like this week, like this week specifically, we're not taking Sunday off, so I'll probably end up taking Thursday or Friday off, depending just how it works out. So because Saturday we have a football game to go to, a college football game. We're gonna do like public interviews, tailgates, and stuff. And then then Sunday we're going to the Carolina Panthers game again. So it's gonna be like boom, boom. But that's kind of like what my plan is. Except this week Sunday we can't. But usually Sunday is my day where I take off. I don't do anything. Feet up on the couch. Either watch football, hang out with the pup, hang out with wife. I think a big thing is recognizing it, implementing a schedule that works for you. And your business or your life and your schedule.
So I don't know if you know this. There's actually a bunch of signs that you can try to identify, and let's see if we can identify some in you, because I know you feel burnt out, you feel worn, but there's different ways that you can combat it. So maybe we should let's go through you, and then we can go through mine, and see how we're able to identify any red flags, and maybe this will help others identify theirs as well.
Yeah.
So one of the big things is workload. So if you're overworked, if you have way too much work.
Wait, overworked is in your in the dictionary? Workload?
That's a thing.
What?
It can be. It can get so overwhelming. And a big way I go through it, I see it with my son. And I see it within myself, is we call it overstimulating, where you get so much stuff going at you. When you think about when you're in a huge room of billions of people, or you're at a concert, you're at your event, and then say you had every coordinator coming up to you. Hey, Lenny, I need you to do this, do that. Whoa, everybody, let's take a step back.
You're talking about a regular event, pal. All right?
That comes with it. But now doing that every single day, that would burn me out.
No, for sure.
Like one day, fine. Like I'll deal with it.
Once a month for 6 months, 7 months out of the year, that's dealable.
Exactly. But now, to our friends and viewers that are working their office jobs, who may be a manager, who may be a clerk, may be a leader of some sort, and they have the responsibilities to get their commands from people, and they're getting multiple chirps. That workload over days of a time is going to burn you out. You've experienced something like this, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's really just the nature. People again. I think there's so many misconceptions about being an entrepreneur. Going back to the quote I said, I think it was last week or the week before. My mentor says it. Yeah, it's great being an entrepreneur. You can work any 80 hours a week you want.
I love that.
And it's so true, because yes, I'm not going to sit here and say every week I work my ass off, because there are some weeks that less things happen and you're reaching out to people and you're doing all these things, and maybe you work 40, maybe you just work a regular 40. But there are other weeks where it's crazy. Like this week in particular is not so crazy. Next week from Sunday to Sunday is crazy because we're doing 2 football games back to back. So I have 2 straight Sundays where I'm working. So that's going to be nuts, and some stuff fillers in between, podcasts, doing some stuff. So, but I think a lot of people think like you have to work from sun up to sundown. No, go to the gym, work out, take an actual break during the middle of the day, break it up. If you have a dog or an animal at home, hang out with your animal for a little bit. That's what I usually do. I usually do like a lunch break that's like an hour or two, and in between that, I'll hang out with Bobby and just chill, eat something, chill, take him on a walk or two,
So that goes
and
into the next
that's
thing
huge.
of another sign of burnout is the lack of control. Not
Mm.
having the control where, again, if you have workload and then you're getting chirped at left and right, and you don't have any control that you're doing what you're told to do and that's it. And you want to, if you're a creative person, I know I am, and Lenny is 100%. And when somebody's restraining you from being in control of being creative, especially, it is so bottling. I feel like I want to explode sometimes. Like somebody says, yeah, don't be creative.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of people's vision, and 100%. I understand that and appreciate it and respect it. There's also a point of creativity that has to happen, but also that lack of control. If you don't have that and you're not able to do much with, to control your circumstances, you're just going to end up burning out from that as well.
Yeah, I think a huge thing too. Oh, man, this is all messed up. I think a huge thing too, especially for like lifting love and what I see it becoming, is I can't do this alone. I have another 6 months to where I can probably do this alone, and I'm going to need to bring somebody in to help because I understand that I am going to burn out if I do all this by myself. It's a lot. Edit, post, do all this stuff. Even if I just had like someone who like posted my stuff for me, or if I just had somebody who edited all my shit for me, like that would help 10 times. Because I mean, Gabby's cool. My wife is cool with being the camera woman for a little bit while I figure my shit out, while I make money, while I bring money in. But realizing that you need a team and that you have to have a team around you because you're only as good as your team. And right now, my team is just me. And I mean, we get by,
What's
dog.
the saying? You're only as good as your weakest link?
Oh, you're only as good as your team.
Yeah.
As really what it is, especially in the content field. So I mean, I'm definitely looking to build my team come 2024. Like post every day and just really work on more upscaling videos. We have a couple huge ones that I don't want to talk about yet. Kind of have some more things that have to happen, but for us would just be fucking huge. Like, let's be honest. Like, I definitely realizing the signs of like it can't just be you forever, which is cool. Like right now, I have no overhead. Right, to me, I'm in my apartment. Only overhead I have is like my monthly subscriptions for like captions and Canva and all the stuff that I use on my end. So I mean, and my time, but my time's not really that much because right now I'm working, I'm growing, I'm learning. So realizing that you need a team is a big step because I've seen it, but I've also had a client or two that doesn't have a team, or has a really small team, but they have this large scale vision, and you can't do both. It's either you're alone in this and you're going to keep working, or you have to build some type of team.
So you just nailed on the next sign of burnout, which is awesome, which is the lack of support. And you realizing you need the support. And that's not just saying you need to build a team. 100%, depending on your line of business and what you do, yes, you need a team behind you to help you go through things, even if it's an administrative position, because you're the creative brain of your brain, your vision, your brand. And Lenny is the face of Lifting Love. Everybody knows when they see Lifting Love, they look at, hi Lenny, it's Lenny, everybody. But the thing is behind him too, I'm part of his team. His wife's part of his team. It's that support that he gets that makes it more worth it. Like, hey, because it's all of it, we'll go into another day. The next couple of weeks, we're going to be hitting depression as well. You hit depression, a lot of it is also stemmed from lack of support.
It's lonely, dog. It's lonely.
Being an entrepreneur is 100% lonely, but it doesn't have to be. Your spouse, your significant other, your roommate, if you have a roommate, you have friends that, hey, listen, I'm thinking about leaving my job. I want to go pursue doing this. Get people behind you. Just that alone, saying, hey, let's go. How does this look? How are you doing? That people check in on you, that they see your vision, that like, they may not necessarily know 100% what that means. They don't. But if you have good friends behind you that are like, let's get behind them. I don't know what this means. I don't know what making frilly things has to do with anything, but if they support you in doing it, then that's the friends you need. That's the support you need. And then building the team eventually behind you. Who knows? Your friends might become that team one day. And team building is something Lenny and I know one day we're both going to touch on very well.
Yeah, I mean, my ultimate vision is for Tech Light to be like our media management company. I mean, it's something we never really talked about. It's something I've always kind of just been thinking in the back of my head. But since we're here live talking about it, like I want Tech Light to be a part of Lifting Live, just like I want Lifting Live to be a part of Tech Light. But it's really going to come.
That's news to me. Woo!
I mean, it's going to come down to that. It's like I need someone to handle my media management, even if I'm still editing and right, I'm doing all the shooting and all this stuff. But I could just put it in a Google Drive or a place that you could be like, all right, cool. Like I will put it on all platforms. Dude, posting is like 2 hours of my day. Like coming up with the things, hashtag, sending out to people, putting on my story, all this stuff. Distribution is a huge part of what I do. And, you started this gig where we post every single day. And I was doing drafts, right? So like on Instagram, TikTok, I still do drafts. Facebook, y'all suck. Y'all need to do drafts. YouTube, they do drafts, but I just put it on there. So Instagram, I was like, dude, I'm ahead of this. I uploaded 30 freaking reels, had them all edited out, tagged people, all the stuff that I do on my reels. I go back 3 days later, and I go to click on one. It's a black screen, and it says unable to capture, unable to retrieve all 30 gone.
Oh my God.
I was like, damn, because I was just like, fuck, like screw it. I'm gonna do 30. Like I have this thing where I'm gonna do 90 days, 100, however many days, 60, 90 days of just doing reels every day on all platforms. Fuck it, right? What's gonna happen? Let's go all in. Let's see what's gonna happen. And I did that, and I was like, damn. So now every day I'm literally like,
see, and that, having a team behind you to do that. So like on my team, my grandfather is one of my administrators on my team, helps me do a lot of the high-end office work, the finances, help me calculate a lot of things like that. And when we started the company, he jumped on board with that and helped me significantly. And the way he explained is and he always introduces me to people that he meets and family that we haven't talked to in years. When I explain, I have Tech Light, I run the company, I own, all this. And he goes, yeah, DJ is just the brains to it. I just help him in the office stuff. And it's weird because when you think about it that way, how much of a burden that alleviates, but also it's also a blessing in itself because his logic to me was, you do the creative stuff. I can't do that. I can't go do the installations. I can't do the marketing. I can't do that stuff. That's up to you to take care of. For sure. And then knowing that, now that's a support, but also that's why people like Lenny, people like me need those secondary people, tertiary people that either office, a camera person, just an extra support hand that's part of that team to make your job easier, because you're the brain of yours. If you're great with finances, 100% do it. 100%. Yeah. If you're breaking down doing your own craft of some sort, and you're great with finances, you're an accountant, bookkeeper of some sort, deal with that on a normal basis, then 100%, if you're able to do it and not put too much of a workload on yourself, then do it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I forgot where I heard it. I'm very big in podcasts. I listen to like all the major podcasts, and I like listening to other people's podcasts because first I get better at it. Second, you hear things and stuff. I forgot. I don't know. Maybe it was Gary Vee or Mark Cuban, someone who's like really successful, and they were like, a lot of people talk about working on your weaknesses, but a lot of people don't talk about utilizing your strengths and using them to the fullest. Obviously, you have to work on your weaknesses. Like we all have to work on our weaknesses. But he was going into like, people sometimes focus more on strengthening their weaknesses than using their strengths. if that makes sense. So yeah, like you said, maybe you're good at finances, maybe you're good at administrative, maybe you're good at this. Use that and do all the other stuff, but the stuff that you're weak at, like for me, bro, it's time management, but in the way of like, damn, I have to do all this posting. Like that's a huge thing for me. I'm becoming better at editing, but I know it's not my strong suit, and I know my content can be 10 times better if I had someone who was experienced enough and knew that did it. But I'm working on it, right? That's like one of my weaknesses I'm working on. But my strengths are everything in person, right? When it comes to marketing, advertising, I'm great at meeting people, talking to people. I'm great at doing my content. Like I'm also great at like I'll sit here and just email 30 people and reach out and all this stuff. Those are my strengths. And just my work ethic. I'm a workhorse. I know DJ's probably laughing because I have been slacking on my edits for the podcast, but it's been a crazy 2 weeks.
Don't worry, I'll go into software support later.
But like my work ethic, putting my nose to the ground, that's the stuff that I'm really good at. And you realize whatever it is that you're good at, you got to realize that and focus, hone in on those strengths. Realize you have weaknesses, but really focus on those strengths. Sorry to cut you off.
You're good. I mean, I agree with you 100%. You want to focus on your strengths, and business building is a whole art in itself. And there's people that are insanely good at it, that are literally their gift is building businesses. Like they know how, oh yeah, I can do this. I'll get you started. Like, and if you find those people, team up with those people. They're great people to have on your team, to be counselors, to be advisors, to help build your brand. And it could be a relative, could be a friend, could be a guy you meet on the street. You never know. Could be anybody. I know Lenny knows this person very well.
That's true. Or it could just be someone who you made a story and they swiped up on it.
Dang. And social media. Okay, fine. People. You got me. Social media. He won that one.
Reach out. I mean, you don't know what it's going to be. Like, I needed someone for thumbnail, and I posted something on my story. It's funny. I'm pretty sure I told you this story, but you and someone else both hit me up about, hey, I do thumbnails. So I reached out to both of you. I mean, I could probably look. I still don't think he answered the message.
Did he read it at least?
But you answered, and like literally from then we just haven't stopped talking.
Did that other guy ever answer you or read it?
I don't know. Let's see.
So going into that, while he's looking up that, in the last bit of having like a sign of burnout is the lack of resources. So you should be able to go up to your employer at your company and be like, hey, listen, I'm burning out. I need help. And whether that means they either hire someone, they help alleviate a little bit of your workload because, hey, listen, you're the guy getting all the projects. You're the one getting all the stuff needing to be done, all the paperwork, all that stuff that's left on you for some reason. Why can't you spread it out between a couple people or hire another person if the company's financially able, things along that line, then, or sometimes there's also programs. This is a resource, just us talking about it, knowing how to navigate burnout and how to go about it, understanding the signs of it and how to get through it. He looks like he got something.
February 14th at 2:30 at 3. February 14th at 3:28 p.m. I put on a story that said, does anyone know how to do thumbnails? Or something like that. And he said, I can and have. February 14th at 4:35 p.m. I replied, seriously? Question mark. Do you have any examples of your work and how much would you charge? Question mark. No reply. I messaged him back on February 21st at 4:26. No reply. All on scene.
I think if we have people listening who's interested in doing this and breaking out onto their own stuff, make an Instagram or a Facebook story. Like, just put a picture and say,
hold on,
something that you want to do. You need hey, I'm interested in thumbnails. I'm interested in this. I think that's a good challenge to do.
Are you ready for this?
Do it.
Same story. DJ replied, I do, bro. What you need? Question mark. Seriously, I reply February 14th At 8:41 p.m. Seriously? Question mark. I'm creating reaction videos and I need better thumbnails. DJ replies February 14th, 11:34. Hit me up tomorrow, bro. Let's talk it out. Sends his number. And for the people, it's beep 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 beep. I'm just kidding. But that's the difference in just. I don't care how big you are, how small you are. I mean, the other guy does a lot of stuff, and like that's cool. But like, so do you. And you reached back, and we talked, and man, it's crazy. February 14th, we haven't stopped talking since that day. And it's kind of just been this like.
That's how we got here.
Yeah, literally started as voice messages. Y'all know the whole deal. You know, TED Talks, all this stuff, and now we're here. February, 8 months later, going on 9 months later.
All right.
So it's crazy. It really is. So like DJ was saying, make a story. You need something, put it out there. People never know what you need until you ask.
100%. You want to just reach out. And I remember years ago, it was before Lenny and I knew each other. It was like probably right after COVID. I was itching to do a little podcasting myself, little like videos and stuff. And I had posted on Instagram and I said, who would watch? And I just put the yes or no or a thumbs up or something, I believe. And I said, who would watch a podcast if I did one? And I had like 10 people who responded to it. Like just that alone. And you're just seeing the reactions. It's not public. It's private to you. And then it lets you evaluate, how do I go about this now? You know, do I want to do this? When can I make the leap to do this? Who do I need to make the leap to do this, as I'm looking right at Lenny?
I think a big thing too, bro, it's like burnout happens because people don't support.
Oh, 100%. You need the support.
I'm going to say that again. Burnout doesn't happen because people don't support. I'm talking to you. If you're listening to this, you need to hear it. That's the intro. Anyway, this is what you need. But seriously, I think a lot of people are always like, oh my God, I love what you do. Oh my God, I love support, bitch. Sorry. Like that's the stuff that pisses me off. Support. It is free to like a post. It is free to share a post. It is free to tell your friends about it. It doesn't cost you $1, a dime, or a day. You talk about all this bullshit and gossip that's going on with all these celebrities and all these football players and basketball players and sports athletes and all these things, but your friend's trying to run a business that you know personally, and instead of supporting him and being, or them, or her, or he, she, they, them, whatever pronouns they are, instead of supporting them, you just continue talking about celebrity drama and TMZ stuff. Who gives a shit? Your friend's out here trying to do it. Your brother's out here trying to do it. Your mother, your dad, whoever. Just fill in the blank. You should be the vocal billboard for the person that you care about in your life, who's trying to run a business, who maybe is a content creator like myself, or whatever the case is. You know, it really stems from support. Burnout happens because people do not support, and they'll give you this fluff of bullshit and say, oh my God, I love your stuff. I've seen people who I know for a fact have not liked a fucking picture, video, or anything, and they'll come up to me when they see me and say, dude, I love your shit. I've been seeing you grind. Shut the fuck up. Like my shit, share my shit, tell other people about it. Don't come up to me in person and tell me about it. I don't need that shit. I don't want that shit. I want the people who actually support me and like my shit and talk about me, like you, like Gabby, like all these people, some of the people in the chamber that I've been working with. I know they talk about me because other people have heard from them. And that's what real support is. That's what real love is. And burnout happens because some people just don't fucking support.
Drop the mic. Sorry. Wow. Boom.
Because it's true.
Oh, because you can share a post. You can like a post. You can repost, tag a friend, comment, post it on your own. Give a shout out.
Google review. If they have a business, Google review. Doesn't take you long to be like a Google review. You have a business page? Google review. It does not take a whole lot of time or energy. It's crazy. So I did a food review with Ryan and Matt from StatFest and Mover.
Yeah.
And they were giving out free lemonade if you did a Google review.
See, I
There's
think
fire, dude. And you go on there, and there's hundreds hundreds of Google reviews.
Yeah.
Shout out to Queso Monster. I want to say that was the name of the place. Food truck in Durham. Fire. Second one we've done in Durham. Anyway, but it doesn't cost anything to support. Support is free. If you so much quote unquote care about this person, whoever it is, support them. If you go to a local small mom and pop store and you love what they do and you think that they have great products or whatever, support. I mean, it's really simple. It doesn't even have to be someone you know or care about. You go in, you get good energy, you get good vibes. Maybe you meet the owner. Maybe don't meet the owner. Whatever. People just don't know how to support nowadays.
And it's also, I feel like a lot of people think it's niche, terrible. And it doesn't need to be a niche. It doesn't. It 100% has to do with, your friendship. I've also had friends who didn't share my stuff. And it also hurt. Same instances. I had people coming up to me, yeah, keep grinding. But dude, you're not sharing. I literally wrote, share this post, not one person. I'll tag you in it personally. I know Lenny sees me tag him on Facebook all the time and stuff, but he's resharing it, obviously, for obvious reasons.
It takes what? It takes what? You get the notification, click on it, takes 2 seconds to be like, yo, my friend's doing some cool shit.
But
well, this is us, so I mean, it's a lot different. But
seeing you want to overload. So going into workload balance, because this is also that work-life balance we always hear about. That's the magical thing.
What's that?
What's work-life balance? I don't know.
Little toys I got free. Yeah, don't worry about it. But that work-life balance is so crucial because, so now I'll take a step back into my realm a little bit. So my workload, a lot of my workload varies week to week. I'm not always as projected out. I do have some projected out jobs coming up, but nothing like that I can fully prep for. A lot of stuff happens week of, things go down, systems go down, things need to be fixed. It's a weekly basis.
Well, you don't plan that out?
I wish. Trust me. A lot of phone calls I get. So going through my schedule, I think I've told Lenny a couple times. So my Monday, I've dedicated to office, podcast, basically staying on the computer time, quotes, things to get done that day as much as possible. I also try to schedule my kids' doctor's appointments that day if I can, because my kids have their own schedules of things. So, if they get hurt, sick, all on their own.
I couldn't even imagine being a parent right now.
Being a parent on top of this is a whole different conversation.
I couldn't even. So that's 1 week right there.
So my Tuesday through Thursday typically looks like any jobs that come up, whether it's Tech Light, my freelance stuff, things like that. Friday is my flex day, so meaning if there's nothing going on, I try to take the day off, like to do family stuff, any other things needing to be done, and then my Saturdays are a separate flex day, meaning Saturday sometimes I'm working, sometimes I'm not. Fridays same thing. If I'm working or not. Saturday it blends into that. If not, I'll be home. I'll do an editing, just maintenance on my equipment, just trying to keep some upkeep on everything, just maintaining it. And then Sundays, believe it or not, I actually split in half. Thank God I finally got it down the last couple of months, where I'll basically so a lot of my clients, I'd say about 75% of my clients now are churches. So a lot of them are calling me on Sundays to either give me good things, bad things, help, or what do I do's kind of thing. So I consult them through a remote in, respond to a site. So usually that's my 6 a.m. to about like 1:30 p.m. And then after that, I basically I have gotten it down enough that I'm off the hook for the rest of the day. And we end up spending the time with family, having family dinner, all that. It all depends on what's going on. Usually, and also, just it's wind down time, a little more family time. And again, that's also very precious as well, as that, because you want to have the work family life, but at the same time, you don't want to, again, you want to have the workload that you're able to manage. So like, yeah, my stuff comes in weekly, but I try to manage it. That's why I make my Tuesday through Thursday and Friday blocks available for sites, available for work, because I want to make sure I can accommodate correctly. Last week I was at a job site and I had the guy running cable, and I got a call from somebody else that, hey, listen, our printers aren't working. This is the place I did IT at, and our printers weren't working. Some laptops aren't connecting properly. Could you come take a look? Happened to be right down the block. So I was actually able to do that coincidingly, like do it correctly and balance and manage my workload. Another thing is again, that you got the support that you need, which trying to get the support, meaning I had another one of my texts with me. So that's a physical support. I had my wife that I let her know what was going on. So that's an emotional and family support. Let's see, I'm trying to pull up what I had there also. So going through that, and then also having that control. So your schedule is your control. So you want to make sure you're able to, hey, this is my schedule. This is what it looks like. Listen, I can't get to you today. I can come first thing in the morning though, XYZ reasons, and you make it work. And if it's okay with them, as long as it's not detrimental, life threatening, changing, altering, things like that, you should be okay. Obviously there are emergencies you got to attend to. There's always things that come up alongside of that, but that's in my scope of it, and being a parent on top of it. So blend that all together into there, and having 4 small children, life is crazy. So I have experienced burnout multiple times in my life, and I can
just about every day as a parent.
Oh, forget it. Between parent working, it's like, whoa, okay, let's hit the brakes. I'm used to crazy.
Wait, you can hit the brakes?
My rotors are my calipers are a little shot now, but
but no, I think it's huge, just having that support. But there are a lot of people out there who say they support, but when push comes to shove, where you at, homie?
Yeah,
where you at, homie?
So so it's all about first off finding your workload and what you can handle. It's nothing, and it's also my workload's different than Lenny's workload. We have our own jobs, we have our own lives, we have our own things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and
it's also a build-up, right? You don't just like jump into it doing 100 edits a day.
100%.
You start with one, maybe then one leads into 2. Like now, I could probably do. Man, if I had a whole 12 hours, I could probably do 4, maybe 5 edits.
See, and you build it up, and eventually you get quicker, you get better at it, and then you're able to take on more.
I went from my edits used to take over 2 hours. Now I'm at the 45 minutes to an hour mark.
See, that's good. That's a lot better.
I mean, you just build. Oh, dude, when I first started editing, I hated my life. It took me 2 hours. I think my longest edit to date's been 2.5 hours.
Oh, I believe it.
Well, the football edit took a lot longer because it was just a 26-minute video instead of a 8 to 12 minute video, so
that makes sense. But again, along these lines, you want to have balance your workload and build yourself up to it. Even starting out, a lot of people I've heard said, before you even LLC yourself, before you incorporate it, get the foundation, get some jobs book. Hey, listen, before, even before you make the bank account, if you want to do it that way, or you do it just through your personal, you want to make sure hey, listen, I'm doing it after hours. TechLight, I did after hours. I had my main job. I was working 60, 80 hours a week. And that was my 9 to 5 job.
Loosely on the 9
very to 5. Loose there. And by that, some days I got off the train at 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I would go and drive to a job site for TechLight, and that's how I built the company. Was just doing it after hours. Yeah, it was 3-4 hours of work I did extra, but that was 3-4 hours extra of work, of money, of building the business, and then I was able to bring on more and take on more work, and eventually you get to the point of, wow, I got 20 things, 30 things to do. How do I, like, you like have an internal like panic, like how do I do this? And that's where having the control also is like, if you're at your 9 to 5 and your boss like, here's 30 things, get this done by Friday, and you're gonna be like, oh crap, and you know, now you're trying to manage in your head, or they try to micromanage it for you, it doesn't work, and you freak yourself out, have an anxiety attack, and you end up just walking out and having a smoke like that. That's what ends up happening, and it's scary. Whereas when you have your own, listen, you know, you're running your own roost, you're able to go into it and be like, listen, okay, I got X, Y, and Z. I can work on it in this time frame and do it within your time frame. And listen, you work directly with the client. Be like, listen, hey, I have a bunch of other projects going on right now, and be honest with them. Clients appreciate the honesty. Be like, listen, I got other projects I'm working on right now. Yours is next on the list. We are getting it done. If you need to extend your time, if you only give yourself a week to do a project, give yourself a couple days, like, just be transparent with them. And they usually are 100% good with that.
Communication.
I feel like SpongeBob. Communication.
No, it's 100% true. You know, I think burnout, you know, that was a great point, you know, talking about, you know, the differences. And I mean, really to wrap up and summarize this, it's really find out what
you want to identify it. Identify it.
Because like you said, my burnout is different than DJ's. DJ's different than mine. DJ's probably different than yours. Mine's probably different than yours. So everyone has their limit, what they can do in a day, what they can't do in a day. Find a schedule. I think that works best. You know, especially like for me, like I'm a very like structured person. So when there's like a schedule and shit, hey, I have a checklist like this and this and this has to get done. That definitely works. I wanted to show you guys my calendar, my little like thing, but for some reason I misplaced it. So,
but also if we
find out
just
what
last 2 cents on this, if you don't like, if you're like, listen, I'm just gonna grind, I'm gonna do it, don't worry about it, you know, you're gonna burn yourself out. You're physically, mentally, and emotionally going to not be available for your friends, your family, your coworkers, your significant other, your kids. You will just be like, if I could lean back in this chair and completely faint, I would.
I do want to say there are some rare forms of people like the Mr. Beasts of the world. It's not everybody who can just grind until their face falls off.
I'm sure he has a way of not burning out, though.
For sure, yeah. I've listened to every single podcast Mr. Beast has been on. He talks about he has his coping mechanisms, things he does, but he still just works his face off. And we all work hard, right? We all work our face off, but it just looks different for everybody. So find out what they are. What's your limit? Find out coping mechanisms. I think that's a big thing of talking about burnout is, you know, for me, I like to play basketball. I like to, you know, hop on. I barely play my video game anymore, but I'll put on some NFL Madden or NBA and just, you know, you get lost in it for like 45 minutes to an hour.
You just need a mental break.
Yeah. A big thing, too, when you take breaks, set timers. Those are huge because you can get lost in the sauce and then your whole day is gone. Okay, so identify your burnout limit. Find coping mechanisms. There's one more and I forgot it. The timer thing came in my head.
Find your supports.
Find your supports and figure out a schedule. Those are the things right there. All right.
So you ready, buddy? Thank you for tuning in to
If y'all haven't, man, if y'all haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. #1 podcast in the world. You already know the deal. Subscribe if you haven't. Follow us on all social media platforms. But most importantly, until next time, lift, love, crush, hate, and leave with that 9 to 5. Peace.